Jackie, Kashian, Laurie, Kilmartin.
Jacqueline.
Laurie Kilmartin, Jackie Kashian here. I'm in South Carolina, which is both moist, and then when you walk in, like it's raining and it's humid, and then you walk into the building and it's freezing because they discovered electricity. And so I'm chilly. I'm like the sheets are damp.
Yeah, that's a bad way to live.
Right, it sounds like a terrible idea. And so, yeah. Hello.
But I'm looking at your hotel. You have a door that seems to lead to the outside. Is that like a back door?
Yes, it's a back door that goes to the pool, which is set in some sort of marshland. I've already been bitten twice by mosquitoes.
Do you need us to come rescue you? I think all the Jackie and Laurie fans will all drive out and we'll take you back home.
What's that thing what's that hand symbol if you're being held against your will?
I don't know. Is it the middle finger or no?
That's a good start, but it's a human trafficking. There's a human trafficking symbol.
Oh, I should know that. Okay.
Right, we should all know it. Where are you doing? I'm doing stand-up in South Carolina and North Carolina and then Atlanta, Georgia, and then Jacksonville, Florida this week with Maria Bamford. And then the end of next week, I'm doing a benefit at my sister's synagogue outside of Minneapolis, Mendota Heights, and that's on like the 25th, 24th? Something like that. Nope. No, actually next week I'm just going to Minneapolis for a wedding. Good Lord. 17th. No, on the 18th.
So you're promoting your wedding dates now. That's what it's come to, Jackie? That's what our comedy careers are?
Sunday the 18th. I'm right. Sunday the 18th. I'm doing a benefit for my sister's synagogue in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. So they are good people. You should come out and support that gig. The following week, my niece is getting married. Very exciting. The week after that, I'm doing Rochester, Minnesota, Eau Claire, and Green Bay with Maria again. And then June, I'm doing Acme. And I need absolutely everyone. If you don't go to that synagogue gig, you should come to Acme because I would like to finally sell out my own home club.
Please, for fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake, I would like to sell out my home club. I know that I'm also coming to the synagogue and I'm doing Rochester. But Acme is my home club, and I would really like to sell it out. Anyway.
I agree. You? I'm 100%. Okay, so let's see. I'm done with road work in May. I'll tell you about that gig in a sec. So I'm just going to be in Los Angeles doing spots in the decreasing amount of venues that we all seem to have to do spots in. They keep just disappearing.
They disappear and then new ones pop up, and all of a sudden there's a hat store that everyone's psyched about.
I might have to pay for Zoom again and start hosting Zoom shows just to get some stage time, you know?
You will never have to pay for Zoom if you would like to pay me, because I have the fanciest Zoom in the world?
Yeah.
And it has 10 executive slots. That's how, so if you want to give me the $150
Can I be an executive at your Zoom company? I'd like to be a top exec.
It's your own account. But if you ever have any problems, they will take your phone calls.
Wow. Well,
that's how much money I'm spending on Zoom a year.
How much is Zoom if I get it? Like, what's cheaper? Let me ask you. Do you know?
It would be exactly the same. Like right now, it's $150 a year to have basic Zoom.
Right.
And then if you want to give me $150, you can have basic Zoom that also gets all the perks of my $2,000 a year of Zoom.
I'm sorry. I just need a second. I need to rest. I've never needed a break earlier in this podcast in our entire existence.
It's the first time Laurie's ever apologized to me.
So it's the first time I've needed to. Now, Jackie, wait, is this because of the Dork Forest?
No, I did it because of I was doing so many shows 4 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. During lockdown, that I wanted access to all of the perks. And now several people who run Zoom things give me $150 a year.
Oh,
but it's still, by the way, doesn't come up to $2,000 a year.
How do I get on the $100 a year plan as opposed to the $150 plan?
Oh, and people say you aren't good at negotiating. Anybody want to give me a fucking dime? I'm in.
Well, that's interesting. So you have a side Zoom business I didn't know about.
Yeah, it's not really. It's really not efficient, and I should definitely get out of it. But
No,
for
that's a
some
good
reason I'm
idea.
sticking.
Maybe I'll do that, Jackie. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll do
please
that
do.
because I'd like to be able to work stuff out. Just throw it out there to our Patreons or people.
Hmm.
You know, our non-Patreons are also people. I have
Huh?
conceded that recently.
Huh? Yes.
But our Patreons and our Mac Fun supporters are extra people.
They're extra
And
people. They're more. There's all people are equal except for Patreon and Max Fun people who are.
They're a little
more
higher
equal.
up. Yes,
They're more equal.
They're higher
Yes.
up. Okay, well, I'll think about that because, yeah, I just want to be able to work out material. And so anyway, so that's May. I'm just and my son is graduating in a couple weeks, so
Right.
you know,
That's cool.
it's a big weekend. And then June 6th and 7th, Friday and Saturday, I had to cancel the Thursday. I'm at Dr. Grin's in
Okay.
Grand Rapids, Michigan, the hometown of Gerald Ford. The next weekend, 13 and 14, I'm at Stir Crazy in Phoenix.
Right.
The following weekend, the 21st, I'm driving up to the Bay Area, or my son's driving me up to the Bay Area.
Right. Because will he have his driver's license, or will he
No,
still be
no.
making
This is all
hours?
learner's
He's still
permit
making
stuff,
hours. Yeah.
And then I'll be doing that park show in San Leandro on June 21st. It's
Okay.
a free park show for the city. I've done it the last couple years. A lot of fun. And then
Is that
see.
DNA?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's Brian Copeland.
Right.
I love, Jackie, I love promoting my dates and seeing you start writing things down. Yeah, it's really nice to just give you booking ideas when your fucking calendar is full to the max and you're taking dates for 2027 now.
Not so. Feel free to continue to book me.
And then June, at the very end of June, the 27th through, I think, July 3rd, I'm going to be in New York City doing spots. So if you're in New York, I will be spotting it up at the end of June.
All right. There we go. The only weird thing that I have done is I have a small theater gig in London, England.
Yay!
On July 23rd. And that I'm working on a flyer because they need a flyer before they can put the link up. But I've already gotten an email from a listener saying that they're going to come. So that's one. If you could just bring several dozen people with you, that's Steve, I'm kidding. Anyway.
I am wondering if all these Americans leaving the country, right? Americans are trying to leave. I'm on this Reddit subreddit. What?
Called Americans Trying to Leave?
Is
that what the subreddit's called?
Amerexit after Brexit.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people who are gay or trans and other Americans that do not feel safe here anymore and are like, I got to get the fuck out. It's like some of it's heartbreaking. Like they have no link to another country and they're just trying to get out and they don't have a way. I've been in it for a while. So just after Trump's reelection, the new people wanting to leave, it's a lot. Anyway, but when I'm thinking when things change, they change everywhere. Are there going to be a lot more Americans overseas in European countries? And does that open up a new market or, increase work for American comics who are out there? Expats love to reunite with each other and talk about the old country, even if the old country is from the new world. So I don't know, Jackie. Maybe we'll be doing a lot more shows in Europe.
Here's the weird, sad news: is that the comedy boom in Europe, like Germany and France and all that, has kind of fizzled.
Who told you? How do you know?
Money's down. It used to be $300 or €300. It used to be $300 to $500, and I heard that all over the UK is actually a lot lower now too, which is too bad. The money's down. The money's down.
I mean,
Which
of course it's down because we're getting interested in performing over there. So of course it would get down.
I'm so close to getting there. Of course the money would drop. Why would
I never
it?
hit the boom
I still live
when
indoors.
it's booming. Like
No.
For the original comedy boom, if you were a headliner then, and you could be a headliner if you were a man with 20 minutes of material and the ability to straddle a stool, right? That was sickening money. And by the time you and I plotted, up the ladder, the female feature headliner spot, it was the money sucked. It's always like that. By the time I get there, the money sucks.
Right. And yet we live fun.
We do. Yes, Jackie, we're not here to provide balanced reporting. We're here to complain about our lives in comedy. And even though we're both housed, we still have complaints, okay?
I love how I am just lumped into your just the great bitterness tour.
Oh, what? Are you serious? Nobody tunes into this to hear us be grateful for gigs, okay?
I do.
Boring.
I am
You don't listen to this fucking podcast. I know you don't. And if you do, you should stop.
I listen to you waiting for the gratitude. It comes and goes, the gratitude of
Jackie, your gratitude is fake. You only have it because you're 4-step gratitude because you're a 12-step program. Why don't you admit it's a lie you repeat to yourself?
First of all, let me not admit that I'm in a 12-step program. How about that?
Okay.
I don't know if you know a lot about 12-step programs.
There's plenty of them. It could be anything.
That's right. But it is fun to work with Maria and have her talk about DA a great deal, which is Debtors Anonymous.
I would be obsessed with those conversations. I wish you would record them and post them, or at least
the material. No, the material she's doing.
The material's great. I want everything. I want the nitty gritty. I want the stuff that doesn't make it to the act. I want it all.
Oh, well then you could just go to a DA meeting.
Am I allowed?
And then, all you have to do is think to yourself, I wonder if I need this. And then you could listen to the journey of other people who do. And
so Jackie, then I can join the showbiz 12-step mafia. I've been noticing that everyone seems to get each other work. Oh, I'll take this person on the road. We can go to meetings together. Well, what about me?
See, get yourself into some help. Just because you're a whole big fan of moderation, that you don't have any sort of problem when it comes to drugs and alcohol and gambling and men, and doesn't, constantly. I was talking to Martha Kelly today, actually, about you. We actually discussed you.
No.
And she was psyched about your new work, and we were just trying to get together. Trying to get together to have lunch or something. And I was just talking to her, and she was saying that, as she was like, as you think about, I was telling her that since you began the writing again, that most of your concerns are doing a really good job at that writing job.
Yes.
And then picking up 10-minute sets, and then staring happily at your growing child. And she said, "Wow, that's it." And I said, "Yeah, no, Dick, we're yet to hear about it." And not even worried, not even concerned.
Jackie, that part of my body, I filled it in with concrete many years ago. I have no feelings down there, emotional or physical.
Have you thought about planting a tree?
I would have to get some sort of excavation crew to break the concrete up.
Maybe some drilling. There's some drilling.
Jackhammer, yes.
That's what you need. You need a jackhammer dick to come in there. I said jackhammer dick.
After, let's see. When was that? Many years ago. I was like, this is too much drama, and I don't have room for drama in my life. Now, Jackie, as my son floats away into his life, I will have room for drama. I will have room to be gaslit, and that's when I'll go back out on dating apps.
Right, with your shitty taste in men. Let's bring that back into the plot.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry I reintroduced it into the plot. I was just home for 2 weeks. And if anyone thinks Andy Ashcraft is pining for me while I'm gone, think again. Think again. Every 2 days, he had at least 2 or 3 people coming over to the house to play a game.
Well, he created a life that exists when you're on the road. And so when you interrupted it by being home, you really threw him off.
I threw him off. He was like, well, we're going to game tonight. Do you want to? Yes. Yes, I do.
He didn't even ask if he could take over the house. He's like, you're not supposed to be here, lady.
He's like, it's so great that you're here. Now we can game together with my friends and my friends. They are, it was, so we played a lot of games and I also, I tried to ride my bike, but it got really hot in LA for like 2 days. I guess it's back to being chilly again.
Yeah.
And because you were in Deadwood, weren't you? Did you get to go?
Am I talking? Yes. No. Okay. So I flew in. I took like a 4:30 flight out of Burbank. Got in around 10:30, and then Daryl Knight, who's the booker, he's a comedian. He used to be a comedian. In New York, he picked me up, and so I checked in 11:30 midnight, something like that, right? So that's Friday. That's all. Oh, you're writing that down. Oh,
I'm listening. Deadwood, Daryl Knight. I got it.
What is
Keep
this?
going.
Are you just mining me for resources? Is that what this podcast is?
You want to express your bitterness and rage. I'm just trying to find other work. So congratulations.
So then, they're just building this comedy venue, and they're in, I think, for the long haul. It's like, I think, a monthly show. It's not like, it would be great if it was every weekend, but they're building it slowly because Deadwood's a small place. Yeah. The casinos are small. They're not like Vegas size. You ever drive through like Elko, Nevada, or those little smaller Nevada towns?
I've been to Deadwood.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I guess they're just like, 2 stories at most. They're not like, right. It's not like the MGM Grand. So it was fun. So in the morning I went and walked around Deadwood. It was very interesting. Now the whole town burned down in 1879. So a lot of, like the stuff is rebuilt. They're replicas of what was there. Right. Like Bill Hickok died on this spot, but not in this bar that we put here.
right. We went through that tour.
It's smaller letters. You're, oh wow! So he sat in this chair. No, not really. That's from IKEA. Oh, okay. But it was still interesting, and I went into the Adams Museum. Did you go there when you were in Deadwood?
John Adams?
Museum of this guy named John Adams. It was out in the Dakota territory in the 1700s. So this guy was one of the founders of the town or whatever, or a captain of industry, some stuff like that. And it was good. They had a really cool section on prostitution because there were a lot of prostitutes here, a lot of legal brothels until the 80s, Oh,
1980s. Okay.
Yes. And so, there was like a couple madams who did pretty well for themselves. One was a black woman who did very well for herself. One was a white woman who did very well. And then there's this really cool display on all the Chinese immigrants that came to Deadwood very early on. And the 19 women and I think 120 men, which was like, oh, fuck.
Steady work. Steady work.
Big women. Oh, my God. And then
that's an 8-hour day.
At least. And then there were like these little stands that have I was trying to figure out who's more attached to their TV show, Albuquerque to Breaking Bad or Deadwood to Deadwood.
Right.
I think Albuquerque to Breaking Bad just because it was longer and it's a little more famous. But
yeah,
the businesses committed to Deadwood, the TV show, were pretty hardcore. And
we went to those because that's one of Andy's favorite shows. Have you ever seen that show?
No, I have seen it. And I'm like, I got to watch that with my kid. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he would like it.
And then he would love Al. He would love Al Swearingen because we're watching Dexter, and he loves Dexter. I'm like, calm down.
Yeah, calm down. Please don't like this.
But yeah, and then there was one place that was giving away free samples of moonshine. So I had, I'm telling you, the tiniest little shot glass, and I was almost on my back. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, it hit me hard.
Wow. I saw the video or the picture,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? It must. I mean,
Well,
I was
I
drawn
guess
to
it was
it.
like, I bet you were. It was 70 proof alcohol or something like that. I don't know. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I guess because he said apple, I thought it was more like apple juicy, but it was actually I don't know what apple.
There was no
maybe
apple.
named after Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter or something because it was just pure alcohol.
Right. It was rubbing alcohol, and it was probably 140 proof, which means that it was 70% alcohol. So
that might be it.
Yeah.
I don't know the proof and the percentage stuff. And then went back to the hotel. Now I hadn't done an hour in 3 weeks.
Right.
So I had to go over every fucking joke like I just started stand up, you know, because a lot of it.
I'm sure they appreciated that though.
The people in the other hotel rooms, yes, they loved hearing in my adjoining rooms. And even then at the show, I forgot one joke I did a callback to, and I was like, oh, fuck. But it's, but here's the thing. So the show, so it's in like a conference room, hotel shows, right? And the audience is very nice. They're fun. The MC, the woman who brought me up was doing a character. And so she goes, your headliner, and she did a punchline from an old joke, and she goes, your headliner has a son named Mohammed Martinez, and then she used that as a setup for one of her jokes, and I'm just like, what? Because the audience has no fucking idea what you're talking about, but also this might not be the state where I'd want to even list that as a fact about me, were it true. Right. But it's not. It's a punchline to a joke. It just made no sense, and it was so strange. And I was, I don't do that joke anymore, but I was like, what if I still did?
Right. It would have been
really
ruined.
Can't be doing people's jokes in front of them to introduce them. That's
right.
But I think she realized that later, but it was just really strange. And then the feature, very funny woman out of Denver or Aurora, Colorado, had a kidney stone, and she had been in the ER for 5 hours in South Dakota before the show.
Oh no.
And then, so I didn't know that. She was like, well, is there anything you don't want me to do? And I said, just, no crowd work if possible. And she's very heavy on crowd work. And she's like, and I could tell it was like, the kidney stone isn't bad enough. Now I can't even do what I normally do. So I felt guilty, but not that guilty where I said, it's okay, you can do crowd. I mean, she did a little bit, I'm sure way less than she wanted to.
Right. And what is she doing? 30, if that?
I think 20 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fine.
But she did great.
Have 20 minutes of material, which she did, and it all worked out. And
she was fine. And as I felt guilty, I'm like, you know what? Jimmy Pardo asked me to do the same thing once, and I didn't do a lick of crowd work, and there was a child in the front row. So if I can have that kind of discipline, anyone can. Anyone can.
And here, if you bring a child to a stand-up comedy club, back row. There you go. That's all I want. I just don't want to stare into the eyes of a 9-year-old as I try to adjust my material.
I would like that. For me, I see that. For me, I say third row so that I can comment on the child if I want to, but I'm not confronted with their face when I start getting filthy, right? It's up to me.
I mean, it's fine when I open for Brian Regan because I know that there's going to be a 7 to 9-year-old scattered like sprinkles on an ice cream cone. Yes.
Yes.
They're all over the place. So.
So I did I did my time. I did the book. I did a couple. I opened with, I'm just here to find out what the fuck happened to Kristi Noem's face, because she's their ex-governor, right?
Oh, okay.
And Daryl, the booker, said that she was really popular here, and she just went MAGA recently. Like, she used to be normal, had a normal face. When you look at her face from 5 years ago, it's shocking. It's just normal lips, normal everything. And she went full MAGA face and MAGA brain. And What?
Do you think that it literally the women who I've noticed have gone super Nazi are literally going through some sort of aging process crisis.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I was this gorgeous 25-year-old blonde girl and now I'm
That's interesting.
30 and oh my God, they're not going to fuck me anymore." So
Maybe that's it. Maybe because the older you get, the less attention you get from men, and maybe
right,
they're like, "This is how I can get right-wing men to be more into me. I'll be the cool
or
right-wing
any
chick."
men, right? I'll be the cool and I'll any
Well,
men
they're
that
gonna
could,
get
yeah,
right-wing men, but they're
that's what they'll
they're
get. Yeah.
they're the cool chick who's like one of us, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's a good theory.
Because
Anyway,
her face is all crazy looking now.
oh yeah, look her up after this podcast, Jackie.
Not now. Not right now. Don't
Oh,
look
I
her up
know
right
you.
now.
Because I had to tell you look up after. I had to use the word after because I know you'd go right down. I'd see the top of your head for the next 5 minutes while I was talking to nothing.
Yes, but nope. I'll look her up if I can remember her name. South Dakota governor.
She's she's head of DHS now. She's the one that's in charge of the ICE stuff, and she's the one that's been posing in front of the the ex-cot prison in El Salvador. Did you see that picture? She did.
Oh, I
like,
did. Here's the
little
thing.
TikToks. That's her.
I can't remember the name of every Subway sandwich maker that he's put in charge of shit. I can't do it. And so I'm doing what I can. The airplane thing is, I mean, I don't know what it will take to arrest this guy. Please arrest the president of the United States. Please arrest the president.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
how. Yes.
The other thing is, when you said the airplane thing, I was thinking how the FAA is failing and how Newark has almost become a crash site. And you weren't
Right.
even talking about that. You were talking about the Qatari airplane. Oh, my
Yes.
God.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But yeah, it's just one disaster after another.
I know.
TikTok, and did you see? Because I posted a joke that I think you posted 2 weeks earlier, and it wasn't a joke; it was satire, but it wasn't jokey. I just said, if they're not the ICE guys, if they're not showing any ads, any ID, and they have their faces covered, and they're not in some sort of uniform, they're just wearing T-shirts that say ICE. I mean, I could have a Harvard T-shirt. Doesn't mean I went to Harvard. It just means I went to Target.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere near Harvard.
Oh, that wasn't even a joke I posted. That's a literal concern I have, is that guys will just start, and some people are saying they're already doing this, just jumping out of vans and grabbing people and pretending to be ICE and doing fuck knows what with them, right?
So 3 people have posted articles about different men doing this already. Because you can buy ICE T-shirts and Kevlar, like stuff that says police and stuff that says ICE on it,
right,
off of Amazon. And somebody did it, I think it was in Massachusetts, and raped this woman in a motel. And then there were 2 other articles. So it's already happening. And of course, this is, it will eventually, and I've been saying this for years, and I'm surprised it's taking this long, but nobody likes war. Nobody likes, having to stand up and they're mostly, someone else said something about how this is the ICE raids are mostly taking place in states that don't have open carry laws. Because if they did it in Florida, there might be a stand my ground case that would come.
I was wondering why I keep seeing stuff from Massachusetts, and I'm like, why? They're a very blue state. Oh,
right.
Wow.
That's I mean, speculative.
That's a good theory.
I mean, what the woman who told me this might have a degree in English theory, right? I mean, you might want to get a second source, is what I'm saying.
Jackie,
but
you don't have to be sarcastic towards yourself. That's a very good theory.
No, it is a good theory, but I would also like, I don't want to say that it's necessarily a fact. I would like people to definitely double check anything that they hear in a podcast, especially if it's sociopolitical.
No, except when it's a comedy podcast. Then you can trust us. We know what we're talking about.
And Joe Rogan. That's what I want you to. For some reason, I've been getting a lot of Joe Rogan stuff on my Facebook page. And finally, I actually commented on one, and I said, he seems a little short for a stormtrooper. And because I had just been watching Star Wars on the plane last night, so I just posted that last night.
Sure.
Oh my God, my flights were delayed.
No.
I thought I was going to miss it, but I didn't miss it. I'm flying in a day early to this Charleston gig. So, like I didn't get to the hotel till 1. But luckily the Hilton app, you can check in digitally and get a key digitally. So, I could just walk.
Oh, so
So
they're
I
not
just
going to give your room away.
they don't give my room away, and I don't have to go talk to anyone. I could just using the app. I just
Yeah.
get in the front door at 1 in the morning, walk to my room using the app on the phone, get into my room at 1 in the morning. Didn't have to talk to anyone. Woke
Oh.
up at 11 a.m. Missed my cup of waffle. Did not get my cup of waffle breakfast. That's fine. Here's I was just talking to Maria before the show, and before we were this, and so what I did was I woke up at 11, so I had missed breakfast. I Yelp. I did what I always do, which I Yelp to find a good place to eat breakfast. Instead of walking out the door, which I should have done. Instead, I took a $12 lift to a place where I had shrimp and grits, and it was delicious. And then I took a $12 ride back. And then I realized
it's a pricey breakfast, but what are you gonna do?
it was pricey, but I also decided I had forgotten to get an iced coffee. So then I Yelp to find I go to Google Maps, and there's a coffee place a half a block away. And I walk into it, and I was like, oh, I could have eaten breakfast here.
Jackie.
So
you know
live
what?
and learn.
We all work so hard to save money, and then sometimes you're on the road and you're like, fuck it, I don't care how much it costs. I just need what I need to get through this day in this state that votes against my body and this
Right.
audience that isn't showing up. Please.
Yeah, right. I'm looking forward to the show tonight, of course, because it's all Maria's audiences. And what was I have and Andy. I was talking about a bit to Andy yesterday, and he made a comment that I'm going to try and work off of that.
Okay.
It was inadvertent joke machine. He didn't know that he was helping me write, and then I also had coffee with Laura House this week, and that was super fun because we did joke machine, and she's got some really if you get a chance, go see Laura House.
Oh, she's great.
Oh shit!
Yes.
She wanted me to write a blurb about something, and I forgot to write it. But
Oh,
here's
why
the
don't you
blurb.
do it now
She's
while I
fucking
talk?
hilarious. Hey, why don't we take our first break?
Okay. We're back. All right,
Comic of the
guys.
week.
It's time for our comic of the week. Hold on, I just had
She
her.
was super funny.
Yasmin Garza. She's from
Yes.
Arizona. And it looked like she started a comedy at an older age. She's still
Right.
younger than us, but it's tough when people are oh shit, I just gotta
Giving her guff. So, yeah, I was watching some of her clips. I think she opened for Maria at some gig.
okay.
And so, but and then I saw a clip where she was talking about how when she started at 36, and it was just people were just giving her all kinds of weird. If you would have been 10 years earlier, and you're like, screw you. How about you could just do stand up whenever you want to do stand up.
Yes, I just got an email from work about because it's like dark working this week, so I do have an assignment, but it hasn't come in yet, and we'll be able to finish. We're fine. But that's what got when I was looking for her at this, I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Right. So let's say her name, and you should definitely find her. It's Yasmin Garza.
Yes,
Garza?
and and her Instagram
Email
is
handle.
XAZ. Her Yasmin is spelled with an X. XAZMINNIE. So
Yasmini. And very funny. I was watching some of the other clips of straight stand-up stuff, and it was really good.
Yeah, she's great. She's really funny.
So find her, follow her, do all the things. Yes.
You know what I love is when people, or it makes me laugh, when people don't do their full homework before they ask for a favor. Like people have asked us we're a huge fan of the Jackie and Laurie Show. I'd love to be a guest. It's like,
right.
If you're a huge fan, you'd know.
Huge fan.
We don't
you
have
know
guests.
there are
I'd
no
say
guests.
you're a minor fan. But thank you for your interest.
How about this? You like the idea of the show.
And today somebody texted me and he goes, hey, I was listening to Sirius XM. I heard you talking about comics you love. I'd love it if you post my clip. And I go, well, it's the premise that I state like 5 times during the show is that these are all late night sets from Conan. And, and so that's all I'm looking at. And and I go, it sounds like you just listened to the show for about 10 seconds. And he goes, all right, 15 seconds. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
He wrote it down and he was like, who books that? And,
exactly. He did the old Jackie Kashian.
Somebody did text me and say that you, one of the episodes where you reviewed one of my sets was this week.
Yes.
So that was flattering. That was nice.
Oh, good. I always say nice things about you through gritted, angry teeth, but I do, Jackie.
And then last night I was talking to Andy because Andy is auditing a class about reality television because Andy's writing a book, right? And it's a game. It's a role playing book. So it's a tabletop role playing game called the Hero Instant, and it's creating a superhero in an instant. And then it's kind of like D&D where you get to pick your superpowers, and then somebody runs it like a game master, and then you fight, whatever. Good times. But when he publishes for advertising, much like stand-up comedy, he will have to make videos. And he will have to make videos of people playing the game, and he will have to have some sort of compelling narrative. And he teaches at New York Film Academy.
Yeah.
He teaches game design and video game stuff. But they have other classes because it's a film academy, so he can audit. And so he's auditing a show about writing for reality TV writing for reality shows.
Wow.
Which is just editing.
Yeah, totally.
And they should be in the Writers Guild, but they are not. So his first assignment was to watch a reality show, which was supposedly touted as the first reality show, called An American Family.
Oh, The Loud Family, right? On PBS?
Yes. And he only had to watch the first episode, which he was like, thank goodness, because I didn't like them. And but it was from 1977 or something. Or 76.
Yeah.
And they were an upper middle class family who lived in Santa Barbara. And I saw the first minute or two, and then I went into our bedroom and read a book. Because I already know people that are making terrible life choices. So but I love the stats about Santa Barbara, about how they owned a house that was, it cost almost $300,000. There were 78,000 people in Santa Barbara. There was, they considered themselves, middle class, but he owned like some sort of foundry that makes widgets. So he was like billionaire in making. So,
oh wow.
But I guess there was the first famous gay, like, one of the sons was gay.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, and they filmed this family for 7 months, and they didn't know what they were doing. It was a PBS thing, right? That they ended up selling to PBS. So they were just like a slice of life of Americana.
Yeah,
and it was the parents got divorced in the course of the 7 months.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Their kid, who ended up being gay, and it was a big deal because it was 1975 or something, moved to New York and ended up dying, I think, in like 2001 of meth. And he was also HIV positive. I mean, it was a lot of sort of, and the parents got remarried 25 years later. Weirdly, like they kept checking in on these people.
Interesting. So did you ever see any of the episodes of 7 Up, the series?
No.
The British series? They I don't know how many there are. They started with a bunch of 7-year-olds. Then they came in back when they're 14, 21, 28. They're doing every 7 years. I don't know that all of them participate anymore because they're like our age now.
Oh
but
wow.
just kind of they're all from different statuses in life, and just checking in on them and seeing what it's like. I haven't watched all of them, but that's interesting. Reality TV seems to be terrible for children.
Right.
Some of the housewives kids, like one of them OD'd. One of the Orange County housewives kids OD'd. It's I don't know. Seems terrible.
Yeah, I don't think that it's good. I don't think that people are meant to be filmed 24 hours a day.
No, especially not when
And
they're younger and having people constantly know who they used to be.
yeah, it's the guy who played Oliver on uh the Partridge Family, I think. Remember that?
Yeah, the
Uh,
littlest kid.
yeah, the blonde who the cousin.
Okay. Oh, I don't
Yeah,
remember. Barely.
it was. But I knew him. I knew him for about 10 years. I think we're still connected on Facebook. But he was like his early 20s were a mess,
Wow.
and then he was in a punk band, and he's sort of gotten his shit together. But there was residuals, and he got
Yeah.
he was sort of living on the what was that Hugh Grant movie where he got royalties for some Christmas song, and it
I don't know.
was okay. It was someone is yelling
Jackie.
at their phone right now. I'm better. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
we can
We
just
can move
agree that children should
on.
not be
How
televised.
you did better half
Oh yeah,
this.
I did stand up last week. Yeah, you showed up.
I know because I wanted a set.
I know, but you could have got a set without showing up. Only you wanted a set that night.
No, I didn't. I didn't know that it's always the possibility that someone's not going to show up, and I might get a work in. And then
True.
also, I kind of wanted to see your set. I wanted to see Jared and Kara because I like them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did get booked. So
It all worked.
yeah, it all worked out. But it was also because I had a set later at Brews Brothers, which is a microbrewery in Burbank
Yeah.
that Katie Massa Kennedy runs. And
Oh yeah, I've done it a bunch of times. I love it. It's so fun.
that's what she said. That was the
Yeah.
first time I did it. Erin Foley was there, super funny.
I love it.
Yeah, so
She was
did a
just
set.
on stand up on Conan. We got her set there.
Oh, good. Oh,
Erin,
good. Yeah.
I remember if I watched like a lot, like 8 per episode. So I've
Right.
seen, I don't know, how many episodes have we done? 15 or 20. So I've seen a lot of late night sets in the past
Right.
6 months.
Right.
But Erin's in particular, I remember her just walking out like she was the host of the show, like totally comfortable. I was like, this is fucking great. So relaxed. I don't know if that was her first time on late night. It didn't seem like it because she just seemed like, whatever, at home.
She tells an amazing story about being offered to do Arsenio Hall, because somebody
When?
dropped out.
Oh, he
It
was,
was
wait, he came
it was
back,
that
right?
tiny reboot. Yeah, that
Yeah,
tiny
right,
reboot that he
right.
did.
Okay.
And she ended up doing stand up on that. Sort of like you get to do these afternoon sets for these daytime TV shows that
Just one.
I thought you did a
Oh,
couple, but whatever.
the Chew or
Yeah.
the Talk or something. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And I think Jackie Fabulous has done them too.
Hmm.
And it seems like a different kind of stand up when you do an afternoon or a morning stand up set on it's not like more is it like morning
No,
radio? No.
it's definitely aimed at women and moms.
Okay.
That's what it's aimed at. So you don't have to be a mom though. Jackie's not a mom. Jackie Fabulous, but it definitely feels like it's a set for women, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. And but I remember and then she was supposed to do some game show. She told this story about she went in just to do this. It was a game show, and it was like a prototype, not a prototype, but whatever it's called. And she has a tooth, a fake tooth, and it fell out.
Oh
And
God.
and they tried to get her to do it anyway. And she told the story on stage. And it was in the grill. It was in the front. And she was like, absolutely
Oh
not.
my God. Hilarious.
But every story is hilarious with Erin Foley. So
Yes. Should we take
It does-
another break?
really, that was quick.
It's at
All right,
44:30.
Yeah, let's do it.
we're back. So Jackie, then I made another Christy Nome joke later about her looking like she went down on horse cock because I was just talking to a farmer. Got a big laugh. All I'm saying is, now, yes, Deadwood is going to love the word cock, of course. If you watch the HBO show, you know that word is all over that show. So maybe the town loved the word cock. All towns do when you think about it, but they didn't seem to mind. I was going after their little golden girl.
Right. And was it mostly tourists or was it mostly locals? Could you tell?
It was nearbys. There were some tourists and there's some nearbys that lived, in littler towns within a half hour away, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did. So I did that Bruise Brothers where I have this new idea, I mean, and the thing is, you know what as exciting as a new idea is in stand-up comedy, 5 months before you're going to do a new album, a new idea there's a lot of pressure there, especially for me who does 3 or 4 years between albums,
Right.
where I have to make a diamond. It requires pressure. It requires iteration. It requires doing it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to come in with because now I'm back to naming the album Altercation, and I posted this thing about my stepmother because I just remembered the only fight that I've ever picked in my life. Like, I was a bully. And I was 12, and the girl I tried to bully was 10, and she kicked my ass.
Wow.
She beat me up, and I went home, and my stepmother was like, "What the hell happened to you?" And I said, "Oh, I picked a fight with this girl," and she said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, she beat me up," and Nancy Kashian goes, "Good. What are you doing picking a fight? What? And why would you?" And I said, "Well, I was in a really bad mood. I just wanted to hit something." And she was like, "Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's never do that again." Yeah.
Jack, what's interesting to me, in 10 years of doing this podcast, you don't believe you've ever picked a fight since you were 12 years old?
What do you think is happening? It's no, I mean a physical punching fight.
Oh, a physical. Okay.
Yeah. No. What's interesting to me, you're not wrong though. I do think I'm not confrontational, and people laugh in my face. Because as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't feel like a confrontation if someone is saying something horrible.
Jackie, let me tell you what's a confrontation. Me telling a story and you putting your head down and writing down who you should contact in that story. That's confrontational.
Wait, no, that doesn't feel confrontational.
Yes, you can't even do it subtly. You don't do it subtly. You could be looking at me and then just write something without double checking your work, and I wouldn't even know it. Your head goes down.
Now, I don't understand how you've known me for 10 years and you don't know that I don't particularly have a subtle bone in my body. Subtlety is not my strong suit. Let's just say that. But I will say that, so I did that at Bruise Brothers, and then I could not wait till my other set, because I only had one other set. By the way, in between my one set on Wednesday and my second set at Good Heroin on Saturday, I played 4 games. There was a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go up at Good Heroin, and they had been, they were super quiet. For some reason, they were incredibly, I don't know if they were not judgmental, but they were just like interested. And that's not what anybody's looking for. I mean, I would like engaged is what I'm looking for. And so, that set had killed at Bruise Brothers, and at Good Heroin it did well, but it didn't kill, which meant that I felt like it did poorly, which it did not in retrospect. When I look back at it, I'm like, no, I still got some work done. I still said the things, and people laughed, and oh shit, I dropped my headphone. Okay, I'm back. Nothing
happened.
Nothing happened. It's fine. So that was Good Heroin, and it was fun to do that. That show was super fun. Santiago, who did your show, the Better Half show, the show you were on, he was also on the Good Heroine show. So, and it's interesting because I've run into him. That is probably the fourth time that I met him, which was on Better Half, and he was like, Santiago, Jackie, and I was like, oh, good. He said, you will remember me as the guy who knows people who book Germany. And I said, you are right. Now I remember you.
Hair Santiago.
And he also knows of a gig in Barcelona, weirdly enough. So,
Jackie, I'm telling you. I mean, there'll be gigs. Maybe they're not high paying. I don't know.
If there's housing, it's a good way to go.
Yeah.
I have been booking the shows, the London, our trip in England. And so I've got the gig in London. There is a club that I initiated contact with in Leeds. And I tried one in Edinburgh because we're going to Sheffield because Andy wants to go to, we're going to stay in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it's Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, and they're kind of close to each other. But in England, I believe they think that they're entirely different countries. You know how in Los Angeles you're like, oh, it's 45 minutes? That's fine.
Yeah.
In England, if it's 45 minutes, you have to plan a day around it.
You have to get a hotel.
Right. There's some sort of issue. And I'm like, it'll be fine. How much is a lift? So.
Yeah. We must know people that do shows in Britain. Are you cold calling these clubs?
Not cold call. Like I know Rasheen and I know Matt Kirshen and I know Stuart Lee.
Okay.
And so I have yet to invoke Stuart Lee's name, but I assume he would not deny me. He told me he wanted to have lunch.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
What about your agent? Does she have names in London?
Weirdly enough, I only get a response from my agent when I accidentally send it to her old assistant email address and not to her agent email address. And so yesterday I emailed her and I was like, this at the agent address, and I was like, this address works, right?
Oh no.
And I have not heard back. So
oh my God.
I don't know. Am I not supposed to do that?
No, of course you are. It's
okay.
Like classic performer
Is it a caricature?
Agent relationship.
Okay, yes.
This,
fair enough. That's why you're laughing, is because it's a caricature of what it's supposed to not look like. Okay.
Is this your phone number? Because you are returning my calls. I don't get it. No, that's classic showbiz shit. That just made me laugh. That's all.
Right. And then I booked Bloomington, Indiana. Oh, no, it's fine. His personal life, the personal life of those two people who I've known from the very beginning.
Right.
Is very sad. Whatever, like when I heard about, like, should I put it in the, there's when, do you remember?
Yeah.
Like whenever anybody gets divorced or whenever anybody has that sort of, I remember, and this is 10 years ago,
right.
Both Chad Daniels and Pete Lee, they're like a generation under me in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
They both got divorced the same year.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And I was super sad. And when I found out that there had been cheating, and then I found out that both of their wives had cheated on them, and I was just, and not that they aren't good men, but I wouldn't have been. I always think that male comics just have more openings to be cheaters than women comics.
Yeah, like every time they get off stage. Yeah.
Right. I think that they get more offers. Like I don't get that many offers. If I wanted to cheat on Andy, I think the amount of effort that I'd have to put into it is prohibitive.
Not worth it.
Yeah, it's prohibitive. So, but I think with male comics, with men, there are more women who are just like, I'd fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So I was surprised when that happened. So the Bloomington thing, they're having marital difficulties.
But it became a kind of a story, like a news story. Locally.
Right. They came out publicly because Jared has always been a guy who's like, I have sat in that green room and I've told this story before. Hilarious. People, he will answer the phone and go, Well, don't come then.
I know.
If you,
Yes, he will kick people out, and before
Right,
before they cause trouble, he'll be like, "I don't like the looks of you guys. This party, get the fuck out."
right. So as a club owner, I appreciate that 100,000%.
As a comedian, yes.
As a comedian,
sure. Yes.
the way he runs his club, I
Curates
appreciate
the
all of it.
audience. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
His personal life with his wife, if he's fucked that up, that's between him and his wife.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
And it's not like, and it's not like there's children involved or anything. This is literally just a terrible life choice on the part of a couple of middle-aged people. So I don't need to be. Anyway, he's offered me a week and I've taken it, and I don't know why I have to justify it.
You don't.
For 10 minutes.
But hold on, let me write down. I'm gonna write down. Email Jared right now.
Right. Yeah, Jared's booking. You should write that down. And so I'm there in September, and because of my new agent, I wanted to make sure I knew all of the particulars. So he emailed me, and previous years with my old agent, he never took any of the money, and I guess she won't this time either because I booked it. And
right.
And but I was thinking that it would be more of that, and so I asked him for particulars. And he was like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, no. Let me write down some numbers with dates attached to them in an email that we have an exchange.
Yeah.
And then we will have an agreement. How about that?
Right.
And he was like, my apologies, of course. And so that is all done. And so I will be doing Bloomington. But now maybe I'll do Deadwood if he's doing a monthly. And maybe I'll do Phoenix, and maybe, whatever you're doing, I will try to find more work.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm going to we're going to England in July essentially for my birthday. And but
my
after
birthday
that,
as well. You guys are celebrating
and your
my
birthday.
Thank you.
Celebrating your birthday and Nancy Cation's birthday and my buddy Stefan Zigarowicz, who really wanted us to go to rural Wisconsin to a polka fest for our birthdays, because his birthday is the same day as your birthday. And I have this to say, Andy Ashcraft was like, absolutely not. And I was like, I don't mind polkaing, like in the world of dance. At the very least, I know the steps. So I know how to do it. I will be visiting my dad this month. My father has fallen in love with Arrested Development, which the reason he
is this stuff for the chat?
No, this is just.
Oh, I see. You're getting ready to write down a booker name. You're just doing this with your pen. Okay, I got it.
Do you have any other new work for me?
No, I don't.
Louisiana. It's okay.
Oh shit! You know what? Actually, I do got it.
Ooh,
it's been like over a year since I've been there. They should have me back in Lafayette. Okay.
I remember how much you almost enjoyed it last time.
I did. It was the drive where I was driving through. The Google Maps said like severe thunderstorms or something, or like flooding possible.
There's so much. It's just gonna rain all over the South this week, because tomorrow we have to drive to Charlotte.
These people
3.5 hour drive,
and they complain about the rain. How dare they complain about rain to us?
Right.
Thank God you have it.
Yeah, that's right. And I will say my garden is coming right along. I was watching this Irish show called Grow, Cook, Eat. It's a half-hour show where they show you how to plant a vegetable.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, Grow, Cook, Eat. It's on YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube.
Okay.
It's also on Roku. That's where I saw it, but it's also on YouTube. And so my tomatoes are doing really well because they told me to break off the bottom stems that don't have any flowers on them.
Oh.
It was one of the things that, but I also want to put in more. The pomelo tree from our neighbor is there were 30 pomelos. I've eaten as many pomelos as I can before I left, and I'm not going to be home until Monday.
Don't know what a pomelo is, and
it's a grapefruit. It's a little sweeter than a grapefruit.
Oh, I would like that.
Yeah, it's a grapefruit, but you don't need to add sugar to it. Yeah.
All right,
You might
Jackie,
enjoy that.
how
Mhm.
long is it? We're at 59:34. I think that's plenty.
Well then, allow me to hit stop.